Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going through the top teams you can try for Titan Reaver to get a good score. We're going to begin by taking a look at the replay that Himmler sent me because he got one of the highest scores today and he is using the overall top team. I'm going to show you that team formation, but it is a pay to win team. Maybe you can try it because like the heroes will be boosted up to mythic in this boss battle, but the first team is like a physical damage dealer team with Kruger for physical defense debuffs. Keep in mind that these bosses are kind of like pre-endless bosses, and so just raw damage and defense debuffs are going to be the way to go rather than like HP per second damage, which is not as effective. On the second team here we have a magical damage dealer team with the arcane spell, which is good before endless. So we'll take a look at his replay. And then we'll do team testing with the different teams I have saved for right now. And we'll watch on 2x speed. Unfortunately for the Titan Reaver, there's no 3x speed option and there's no skip option. So you have to watch through each battle that you fight. And you can't even have 3x speed. And those basically features have kind of spoiled us. And so like it feels kind of bad for us in Titan Reaver. But anyway, Greatsword spell is going to be good. It increases the attack and also periodically will break the defense of the boss, reduce their defense. And it triggers a lot. Look at how quickly it's triggering onto the boss. And yeah, but this basically, the heroes which do well in Titan Reaver, that is going to be the heroes which do well in pre-endless bosses as well, because the defense like sort of setup of these bosses is very much like pre-endless bosses like epic mode, hell mode. But definitely not like endless bosses, because HP per second damage is not a good option for the Titan Reaver. We have to take a look at how many points do we need in total to get all of the rewards. Like, I mean, his number one team, 750 million almost, that's probably enough to get all of the rewards just off of one team. But let's take a look at the second replay. But it's just Taylene here for the damage, because she's a good damage dealer before getting to endless bosses. And so that is why she's going to be the best option to run here. Okay, you have the Rainier debuff onto the boss. Coco is good because she provides a damage reduction to protect your team. And Smokey is good to heal up the Taylene in this boss and also deal good damage to the boss. Yeah, but for example, in any team that is using Taylene, a great replacement for Taylene is Odie. In any team that has Rainier Mythic Plus before Endless, a great option is to be using Thorin instead, because Thorin has a Soul Plunder debuff, which is like a mini version of Rainier's Mythic Plus debuff. So when we come to the free-to-play teams, you're going to notice that we just basically swap out Rainier for Thorin and Taylene for Odie. But yeah, definitely this is a good team. Lily May, Odie or Taylene, Rainier, Coco, and Smokey with the arcane spell. And also arcane spell would be good for Odie because he's a magic damage dealer. So the score he got from this, I think, is over 1.4 billion combined score, which is pretty crazy. Like, that is way higher than last week Titan Reaver, because in that, I think some of the top scores are like just around 1.1 billion, 1.2 billion. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some more team testing now. To get the maximum rewards, you need to get 620 million, which should be pretty easy because there are free-to-play teams which can even manage to do that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you Randiel. Shout out to him who came up with this almost fully free-to-play team. This is one of the most free-to-play friendly teams you're going to find. Again, physical damage dealer team with Kruger on the team number 1, and on team number 2, you have the magical damage dealer team with Thorin and Odie replaced for Taylene and Rainier. And okay, let's take a look at this team. So, and Mikola here for the attack buff. You can use it even before getting to Supreme Plus, but Supreme Plus would make her more effective for this boss specifically. And actually, you can actually manual cast if you want. So basically what people do is they don't want Merrily jumping outside the Mikola haste buff range, so they wait for Mikola to enter into the courage. They wait for Merrily to enter the courage sphere of Mikola, and then they turn off the ultimate cast, and then Merrily will have the haste buff. It can be a minor damage boost, not a huge amount, but it's just something to kind of think about. Okay, so is she within the haste buff range here? I think not, right? I think she's still a little bit too far away. I'm not sure. But, yeah, so But you can just ultimate cast as well, it's fine. And actually for Necrodrakon, ultimate casting is good because it will cleanse the debuff onto her, the attack-based debuff. So yeah. Okay, so with this first team, looks like we can get around 300 million, which is, it seems low, and it is kind of low, but don't worry, because the second team will have you covered, because you're going to get a lot of damage off on the second team. Even running heroes like Lily, May, and Odie, Thorn, Smokey, that is enough to get a high score for this boss. So this is a great team to run, and should allow you to get all of the rewards you need. But then we'll move on to the other teams, because the other teams can also be run even if you have like one copy or low investment of heroes. They are going to be boosted up to Mythic. Now that isn't a great break point. You would really want them to be like Mythic Plus and upgraded exclusive equipment, but even Mythic can be usable for some heroes. Like for example, Taylene is a pretty good example. She can be used at Mythic, but I think probably Odie would be maybe better. Like a fully built Odie would be better than a Mythic Taylene. I'm not sure, but you could try both in this Alpha Bear team. Yeah, so the first team was kind of on the lower damage side, but this team is going to compensate for it. We are on track to deal over 400 million, which is going to be plenty, because all we need is in total 620 million in order to get all of the rewards. Yeah, so if you have a well-invested Odie and Lily May, they're basically going to carry you in this Alpha Bear boss, and then you won't really have to worry that much on your first boss. You just have to deal a little bit of damage. And yeah, and Necrodrakon, basically the teams which worked well for pre-endless content, like the Temesia team, Kruger, that's basically what is working well right now as well. Okay, so this was 750 million with a free-to-play team. Merrily dealt the most damage, Temesia did a good amount as well, and Lily May and Odie both did a lot of damage as well. Okay, let's move on to, we can claim the rewards, and we can actually see. That will put us in the top 91% of all players, but a lot of people haven't attacked yet either. Okay, let's move on to the next formations. So, what I'm going to run now is there are some other free-to-play versions, but yeah, there are some other free-to-play versions which I want to show right now. Basically, this one, if you don't have Sinbad built, this can be a team that you run. I think what we will do is I'll just show you the formations and then we'll run one more of these teams. So this can be a good option for team number 1. And basically, you're buffing up the Merrily as much as possible to deal more damage, and also physical defense debuffing the boss. Sonya is good in Necrodrakon because she has mobility, and she was used even in Endless Necrodrakon. This one is going to be, again, the free-to-play team, but with Rainier instead of Thorin, because Rainier is going to be an upgrade compared to Thorin. And so this is another great team that you can run if you have Rainier at Mythic Plus. We've already gone through the overall best Titan Reaver team, so we don't have to look at that again. We can move on to another version of a free-to-play team. Basically, Sinbad, Sonya, Merrily, no Shakir in this team. And like, basically, you can replace out the heroes based on which are usable here. Like, Shakir can be a decent option, Kruger can be a decent option, Korin, Temesia, Merrily, Mikola. So if you have Mikola, probably you want to always run her. Even if she's not Supreme Plus, she gives the attack buff to your team. I feel like it would be a good option to run her. Kruger is great. Kruger is run in pretty much all of these teams. And then Merrily is run in all of the teams. And you should have Merrily built up. So like Merrily, Kruger, Mikola. This is the core. And then from that point on, you can do Temesia Korin, you can do Sonya Sinbad, you can do Merrily Sonya, different combinations. And for the second team, we've already kind of discussed that and the different replacement options. So what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to run the overall best team. Now my Sinbad is not at Mythic Plus, so that's a weakness for sure. But my Taylene is at Supreme, plus 15 exclusive equipment, so that team should do pretty well for me. But this team is going to be weak, because Sinbad Mythic Plus is pretty good for increasing the effectiveness of his debuffs. It does, right? But actually, you need to upgrade him to plus 10 exclusive equipment before he gets any benefit from that. And also, it's kind of a minor benefit because the debuffs are so reduced in effectiveness against the boss. But it is still going to make a difference, right? And of course, it will also improve his own damage, because Sinbad deals a lot of damage himself in this boss fight. And because he keeps doing Tracker's Instinct, he basically cleanses the attack debuff on himself because of the movement. So all of the heroes in this team have movement, except for Mikola and Kruger. Okay. Wait a second, how come Sinbad is not recasting his Tracker's Instinct? Okay, there he casted it. But it looks like the attack debuff is not being cleansed off of him, even though he did move. I thought the Tracker's Instinct would be considered a movement effect. Not sure. Anyway, this got 550 million, even though my Sinbad is not at Mythic Plus. So showing that that is a good option. And we can take a look at the damage chart, because that was just a Mythic Sinbad. So for example, even if you only have one copy of Sinbad, yours is also going to be upgraded to Mythic. Mine's actually Mythic, but I don't get any advantage of that. Okay. So Alpha Bear gonna be taken down by your magic damage dealer team. Already up to 200 million. Which is crazy. Smokey healing up is really important. I wonder if Coco probably is needed, because she protects the Tailene. Right, and allows the Tailene to continuously cast your ultimate. And that is a major source of your damage. So 40 seconds left, 400 million damage already. So Himmel got over 700 million with this team. For me, even if I could get 650 million, I would be pretty impressed, to be honest, but let's see what we can get. Because my Talien's not Supreme Plus. And I don't think I'm planning on taking Talion to Supreme Plus anytime soon. Especially with the fact that next season we're going to have 3 Celestial Hypogean heroes. Even right now, I'm thinking, do I even keep going for Harak or what? Because, like, by the time I'm even close to being done with Harak, is going to be a new Celestial Hypogean coming out. Okay, so this is pretty good. I mean, 1.14 million. Despite not having great investment, this was on my first run. Maybe if I did more runs, it could be better. Sinbad did not do bad, even at Mythic level. Sonya did a lot of work. Sonya is really good for this boss, and that is going to put us over 99%. So another reason to be recruiting for Sonya is the Titan Reaver, which is an awesome boss, because you get a lot of cool rewards, especially the Branko essences. This is the major way you're going to be able to keep up with crafting charms. Like, I have enough to craft a full new charm set if I wanted to. Now I'll have to decide, because it's going to be probably a PvP hero from this point. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now, and good luck getting a good score in Titan Reaver and getting all the rewards which you need. 620 million for that. So see you guys in the next video.